want to kind of give you what I was taught, and it's kind of old school, so I've had to shift a little bit. I want to give you the tools to be able to get your business up and running and off to a fast start. So one of the first things that you have to do when you join the business is decide what your why is. Why are you here? Is it because you love the product and you want other people to know? You don't, that's just it. Is that why? Is it because you want to create an income to be able to support your family? Or you know, there's generally some categories of why. One is financial, and it's not about the money, right? If your why is because you want to make money, then you've got to reevaluate it. Your why is really, what are you going to do with the money? Why do you need the money? For some people, it's about purpose. That's a big part of it for me. I like to help people. I don't like for people to be in the position that I have found myself in struggling, and so I like to help people. That's part of my why. Um, so that's the first thing you have to do is and write it down. Don't just think about it, but write it down. What is your why? And I think I didn't spend a whole lot of time in the app just because I don't have the extra time in the day. But I do think that that's probably one of the things that it also focuses on is sharing your why. You can't just determine what your why is and put it on a shelf. You need to share it. And so you need to put it out there. Why are you doing this? Let people know. And the other thing is you have to learn how to tell your story. So that was a big thing for me in my past company. I was mentored by the top leader in the company, and he has been in the industry for a very long time. And um, he had me. I can remember it just like it was yesterday. He had me come up front and tell my story, and I did. And it all started with product, just like Dory and I were talking about tonight. We got started with this company because we both had gained weight and we wanted to lose weight. Honestly, neither, well, Dory was looking for a business. I was not. I was done with network marketing. So what you need to learn about your story is what you say to people matters, and you need to learn how to speak to their listening. So, and it also helps us with compliance. I could say that I have fibromyalgia. I could say that these products help me with my fibromyalgia, but you won't ever hear me call that out when I'm telling my story. I'm going to say I have an autoimmune condition. Why do I do that? Why do I not specifically say fibromyalgia? I do that because it speaks to a broader listening. Now I'm not just talking to people that have fibromyalgia or somebody that knows somebody. I'm talking to people that have autoimmune conditions. And sadly, that's the majority of people, especially in my age group, right? But it speaks to a broader listening. So when you're telling your story, think about that. Dory doesn't say, she's not doing cardiac nursing now, but she doesn't say I'm a cardiac nurse. She says I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for so many years because it speaks to a broader listening. So don't narrow it down. Speak as broadly as you can when you tell your story. And then we don't just tell our own stories, we tell other people's stories too. So when you first join the business, if you're wanting to get off to a fast start, you don't have a story. You're going to have to use somebody else's story. And one of the things that I have seen people do over and over again, and you'll see me do it sometimes. Sometimes I will share products, but by and large, for the most part, when I'm sharing something, it's a story. I'm sharing somebody's success. I'm sharing what the product is doing for somebody. or it might be the finances. I might be sharing what that's doing for me. You will definitely hear me share next week when we go on the cruise that this is not a cruise I've paid for. This is a cruise that my company has paid for, because people like to hear that stuff, right? And so I would encourage you, when you first get started, look for other people that have inspiring stories and share them. If you go, and I know not everybody that's on this call, um, and this is where my challenge is. Not everybody that's on this call is in the Like Magic group that is just for our team, but we do have a huge album full of people's texts and their results on samples or just getting started. We have all these before and after pictures, but you also see people share them. Stacy is amazing. Ashley is amazing. And everybody's gotten really good at it, right? You grab somebody else's story and share it. You grab somebody else's before and after pictures and share them. And remember that your purpose is not to sell somebody something when you're telling a story. Your purpose is to create curiosity for them to ask, tell me more. So I prefer, and this is just me, I prefer what is called attraction marketing. I would rather somebody ask me to tell them more than for me to go hunt them down, go down my friend list, send them messages. I have not really done that with this company. I did it in the past, but that has not been my focus. And I think it feels better to me. And it may not feel bad to you to share, to just go in somebody's inbox and talk to them in 5 years and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. You should learn about these products. I don't like to do that because I've had so many people do that to me and it doesn't feel good. So I would rather put it out there and let people ask me. And the best way to do that is create curiosity. Don't tell the whole story. Don't tell the product that you're using. I know I see a lot of people sharing just the capsules. That is far better than holding the box of AM/PM, because what that gives somebody the opportunity to do is go research it for themselves and not ask you. So be sure that when you're sharing, you're creating curiosity and you're not just overloading, because we don't have to actually be speaking words to vomit on somebody. We can actually do that in our Facebook post too. My rule of thumb, and I try to stick with this, is an 80-20 rule. 80% of your posts should be something other than trying to sell somebody something. 80% of your posts should be you relating to your following. Naomi is really good about sharing stuff about homesteading. She's grown a pretty massive following in a very short period of time, just sharing stinky goat stories, right? It's just whatever your niche is. Who do you want to reach? Think of somebody that would be your perfect client, your perfect customer. Think of somebody that would be your perfect retailer. And those are people that you want to attract. So think of ways to do that. Let's see, I'm going to refer to my notes really quick. I will say that you can build a network marketing business belly to belly. That's old school. You can do in-home meetings. That is definitely something you can do. Again, it's something I've decided I'm not going to do because there is a different way and it's easier. And I am all about working smarter, not harder. But the concepts that we use are going to be the same. So if you've been in the industry, there's different ways to say it: peak, plug, pass. I always get plug and pass backwards. That's one way to remember it. Alliteration. I call it invitation, presentation, validation, because that's how I learned it. So your invitation is the creating curiosity part, right? I want them to invite themselves. That's where that create curiosity comes from. But you might invite them before they ask, hey, I would love for you to take a look at this. You can do that. That works. It does. Or you can tell a story and say, who wants more information, and let them tell you. And then you go from there. So you go from invitation to presentation. So a presentation, old school, would be you are going to go do a meeting at somebody's house, or here, let me send you a Zoom link, and let them watch a Zoom. And we do that, right? Most everybody has that stored. So they're sending some video that's been recorded. Um, it, it's however you want to do the presentation. But what I've created in social media is the presentation and the validation all in one fell swoop with a customer group. And with that customer group, I've provided all the information. So my presentation is not, here is a link to watch this, and here is this, and here is this. Hey, can I add you a group where I have all the information? And there's also a lot of people in there that have stories that you might be able to relate to, and you can ask questions there. And I'm not the only one that will answer them. There's other people that can give you answers too. Do you mind if I add you to the group? I'm always going to ask. I'm never just going to start inviting people to join my group. So when I do that, the presentation is there. They can look at it whenever they want to. They might only want to look at a video. They might want to go read some stories. They might want to read the NIH paper. But when they get there, I tell them, look at the featured post, look at the albums where there's all the validation is there, right? And so you've got your presentation and validation in one place. And old school would be when somebody has questions, you would get them on a three-way call. Now, what we do quite frequently is I'll say, you can put me in a chat with somebody. Ask them, if it's okay. I don't ever do that without saying, hey, can I put you in a chat with Dory? Because Dory is a nurse and Dory has had this experience. Or it might be somebody that's scared they're going to have heart palpitations. Can I put you in a chat with Dory? Dory was scared too. And let her tell her story. So you can do validations that way. And that way you're not on the phone all day long. That was something that I found before, right? I'm scheduling three-way calls all day long, and they're just, back to back to back to back. And when you're in a chat like that, you can answer them when you have time. Hey, I'm gonna put you in chat with Dory, but she works all day, so it might be, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night before she gets a chance to answer that. And then they might not be up past 8:30, but then they can see it the next morning, and the interaction can happen, and it doesn't feel I don't want to say ingenuine, but that's how I felt about a lot of three-way calls, because there was the system of how you do a three-way call. For me, it's about, I'm going to have a conversation with you. And if I'm chatting with somebody, I'm going to talk to them just like they were across the table from me. And I'm not going to edify my upline and then edify my prospect and then have my upline edify me and then talk about whatever it is this person wants to talk about. Our focus needs to be on our prospect or our customer. How can we help them? So the invitation, presentation, validation. So most of what we've talked about is how to get new customers, right? We really haven't talked about how to bring somebody into the business. And I know that that is something that a lot of people want to know about. How do you get somebody in the business? It's really not any different, right? You're going to do the same thing, but focused more on the business. And I think this is one thing that Fred used to say, and I think this is, again, a concept we need to be thinking about, this concept when we are sharing with somebody. It needs to look simple. It needs to look like it works. And they need to think they can do it too. So we don't want people to think they have to be a nurse to build a business. We don't want people to think, oh, you can't build a business unless you are a certified weight management coach. We want to show them how easy it is to build a business. If you can share somebody's story, invite people that are interested to join a group, we can help you help them convert those people to customers. And it is that simple. It really is that simple. And with this product, and I would say every product we have, there are none of them that don't do the heavy lifting. They all are impact products, high impact products. I had no expectation for the Shilajit product to deliver like it does. But I can trust 100% that if I share the Shilajit product with somebody, they're going to feel different. And most of the time, pretty, right away, within a week, they've noticed a difference. So when you have the high impact products, all you got to do is put the product in your hand. And I think, I don't know, is Leslie on here with us? I can't see who's with us. I don't, if somebody, Leslie, if you're here, I would love for you to hop in and chat with us. But if not, that's fine too. She and I were talking today, and she texted me a picture of her commission from this past week and what she has in her e-wallet. And she was just thanking me because she reached out to me about the products. And I think y'all have all seen her pictures. She's in the 40-50 pound weight loss range. She posted pictures today of her before and her trip to Nashville. But anyway, when she joined when we had the free skincare kit in the bundle, and she fell in love with the skincare. And she's like, I don't know how I'm going to afford all this. So I said, well, you could share it. Well, nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody. I don't have any friends that would be interested. I'm like, you never know unless you try. And so I showed her how she could order product in her husband's name so that she could get the commission instead of me for the next bundle that she ordered in 3 weeks' time. She ordered another bundle because she loved the skincare and she wanted to get another one before that deal expired. So I was not thinking about me. How much money could I make on commissions? I'm thinking about my customers and my teammates. And it was like, okay, well, you can save a little bit of money and order this under your husband's name. And she's like, oh, okay. So we upgraded her to a retailer. And that was her first little commission, right? It was on the product that she had ordered for herself. But then she started sharing her story and she sold a few samples. And she didn't get a whole lot of people interested right in the beginning. And I think that's important for everybody to know. It's not going to happen right away. It might have happened quickly for me. It might have happened quickly for Dory, but it's because we've been doing this forever. If I can't build a business after 30 years of trial and error, then I sure don't want to be in this industry, right? It's just, so if this is your first go round, don't expect it to happen overnight. So, she shared, nobody listened. See, I told you, right? That's what I get back. And then down the road, a little bit later, she's still sharing her pictures, sharing her exciting results from her blood work. And she's just being consistent. And she sees Erin's picture and she shares Erin's before and after picture because Erin's got an amazing story. And she sees Tinder's picture and she shares Tinder's picture. Well, I can't. I'm not really good with how long has she been. Maybe since February. Dory, do you remember when we had the free skincare bundles? Was it February? January? I don't remember.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. Well, now she had a nice little check this past week. A nice check this past week. Because people have started to listen because she's been consistent. And that's, we have to be consistent with the products to get results. We're going to have to be consistent with the business to get results. And I tell people this, and, there's not another industry or profession that you can jump in with no education, no required training, and make as much money as you want to make. You know, if you're gonna, nurses make really good money, but you put a lot of time and a lot of money into college for that. When I jumped out of the network marketing pool and said I'm not doing this anymore, I went to real estate because that's another place where it's not a very big investment, but you have to do some training. So it takes a lot less time than going to school to be a nurse or going to school for anything else. So that's what I did. And that's an industry where you can make money, based on how much work and effort you put into it also. So I didn't really step completely out of commission-based earning, but I did step away from network marketing. But this industry is the only industry that you can step into for almost no money. I mean, really no money, because waiving the we're waiving the enrollment fee, so all you're doing is buying products. But it's the only industry where you can step in with no education. Everybody comes around you and helps you, right? We're all here to help you, and you can make as much or as little as you want to make. I'm not going to be the kind of leader that drives people, because I don't like to be pushed. I'm not going to push other people, but I am here, and Dory is here, Brittany's here. All the leaders, all the leaders are here to help you. And I say it's like tennis, right? I serve the ball, it's in your court. If it ends up back in my court, I'm going to keep playing, and I will play as long as you play. So, and it doesn't matter at what level, right? I'm not going to say you have to score in order for me to keep playing with you. As long as you want to work, I'm going to work with you, and I don't care where you are. I don't even care if you're not on my team. I will work with anybody that wants to work to help them, because I love helping people. That's just who I am. And so it really is as simple as know your why, share your why, learn how to share your story well, share other people's stories until yours is well developed, invitation, presentation, validation. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And you will be successful if you're consistent. And really, that's all there is to it. Be sure that you're in the groups. You need to be in the customer group. You need to be in the team retailer group. We've got chats. We're here to support you in so many different ways. The only way to fail in this business is to quit. And I can say that because I was not the best when I first started, right? I was not even good when I first started, but I didn't quit. And you think about it, to be able to make a residual income, even if it takes you a year or 2 years or 3 years to establish a residual income, you can't do that anywhere else. Y'all, in my last company for 5 years, and I actually terminated my position, so I quit before I didn't have residual anymore. But when my mama had her strokes and I had to step away, I was still making a paycheck week in and week out. Those were just every single week, for years. It's a time investment on the front end so that you're going to continue to get paid for the things that you invest in now. Don't quit. If I had one piece of advice, it's don't quit. And I really think pretty much covered everything that Fast Start. I would say you need to have some goals, and they need to be attainable. Maybe you need an accountability partner so that you're doing the things consistently that you need to do, because if you don't share, you'll never have people to reach out, right? So there's things you need to be doing consistently. But I'm gonna say we have used up our time. It's 9:30. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I feel like there might have been some questions that got missed because I can't see the questions that come through. Is there anything in the chat, Dory, that we need to address?
Hang on. I haven't even looked at the chat, to be perfectly honest, and I should have. I think that Karma was just stating that she had pain in her shoulder, which is gone now because she's been on the products. Naomi was just talking about how she's plateaued, but then her clothes continue to get looser. So no, there's just some comments.
Okay.
Probably more so about the product, but I don't see any questions about the business end.
Okay.
And I would just say to everybody, learn from those who are really good on social media. If you're social media, I wish I could be on more. I am working all day, so that is my excuse. I still try to throw content out there, but there's some people on this Zoom right now that are masters, like masters in social media, and watch what they do. I mean, it's consistent posts and consistent videos. And this is really the law of the few. It really is. It really takes just finding those few people who are real builders that truly can build a massive business. Dee Dee and I have been witness to that, like truly this time around. You know, we've served our time, and I mean, obviously we need to serve more time, but we've served our time. We've served each other. We've been friends a long time. And I think when you're genuine and you really just want to learn things and you're willing and you just are hungry to learn from other people, we have an amazing group of people to learn from, and everybody has different skills. So anyway, that's all.
Well, and I'll add too, and I know you have brought in some people that you worked with before in your previous company, but honestly, I have not. Like everybody that I'm building with, none of them are people that I had on my team in my previous company. And so when you say I don't know very many people, you don't have to. Because if I looked at my team today, I might know or have known, like I've gotten to know a lot of my team because that's what I do, right? I'm going to reach down and get to know everybody and develop relationships. But if I were to look at my team and say, who did I know before I started? It would be less than 5%, because it's not who you know, it's who they know, right? And so you build a business by helping other people help other people. And it's not about who you know. You don't have to know a bunch of people to grow a big business. And I would reiterate what Dory said about watch those people that are growing their businesses and how they build on social media. And don't just build on social media, right? Talk to people when you're out and about to be a good listener, because our job is to find solutions to help people. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. And I will process this recording. It probably won't get posted until, it might even be tomorrow afternoon. It takes a while to process because I upload it to YouTube, and then I will edit it and cut it in half, and just have the content from the product in one video, and then have the business part in the second video. And again, reach out if you have questions. We're here to help. Y'all have a great night.